Labyrinth deck.
This is actually pretty scary because if the Tenpai Dragon deck wins against the Labyrinth, Tenpai is out of the equation for when it comes to dealing with the Snake Eyes.
That is true. So we activate Lord. Oh, that's such a good card to have because Lightning Storm, Harpies, Featherduster, those are the cards so scary for the Labyrinth deck. But we have a way to protect against that now with the Lord of the Heavenly Prison.
Protecting the back row. Tenpai, you know, they got a lot of blowout cards.
Massive.
Upstart Goblin will give another card to Emre here, as well as 1,000 life points to Barcode. We saw that happen in the first game between these two in the group stage, and it looks to be the case again.
Oh, so they've played already?
And definitely has to be said, Emre, an expert of the Labyrinth deck as well, has been playing that a lot too, so definitely knows how to do against it. But it's still a hard situation here to face with
Sky
that
Striker
Lord of the Heavenly
Tenpai
Prison being revealed, just protecting Barcode set cards whatsoever.
Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drone's going to be added to the hand here.
Yeah,
Should
Emre's
be
just
an
trying to
easy
figure out a way.
token into a link into the Kagari eventually.
Yeah, but like all those cards that this deck is running, just against those set cards, they don't do anything. You can have Ultimate Slayer, you can have Forbidden Droplet, you can have the Sky Striker, Widow Anchor. There's no monsters currently for Barcode, so they don't do anything.
Sky Striker versus Labyrinth. I wonder who Ryan Yu is cheering for right now.
I think he has a clear preference there. I think at heart it's going to be the Sky Striker deck. But I mean, it's paired with Tenpai cards, so maybe it's a little closer in that particular comparison. I'm sure he's watching, and Emre right now is staring down those 4 set cards from Barcode, and Barcode chilling in his chair there, really.
Unable to do anything about those 4 set cards thanks to the Lord of the Heavenly
I like how he's got the rabbit there like that's his duel mate.
There looks like it will be the Kagari effect. Does it resolve? It does. And it adds back the Hornet drones of all of the options there.
Yeah.
I say all of the options. It was like 2 options, but still had a choice.
He did have a choice, and he did go for the Hornet drones. But we saw that earlier. Like, the only real option as a link to go into for Emre is Hita, the Fire Charmer. But that one is not really too scary either. That's just providing you some attack points, but there's not even anything to crash into here in the battle phase. There's the Hornet drones.
Another Hornet drone?
With another monster. But
oh, he recycled it.
He has never been chilling that much right now. He doesn't really see any danger out of this, and I kind of have to agree. Whatever Emre is doing right now does not look like it's threatening.
I got you, Riz. We can watch that as soon as this final's over.
The Hita, the Fire Charmer, Ablaze going to come out here, but there's no Ash Blossom in the graveyard.
But there's no fire.
Anything to be taken here by it, and in fact, we will see the battle phase immediately entered here from Emre. Do we have a response from Barcode? Important to note is once these traps are flipped face up, no longer protected by the Lord of the Heavenly Prison.
That's true. So I don't think you really mind the 1,850 here. It's becoming interesting as soon as Emre also has Sang and Kaim in here. Otherwise, you're totally fine with the situation. Take the damage. I like it. But
no Tenpai plays.
Look at this. Barcode did not flip a single trap card here, and still Emre only did 850 points of damage.
So we saw Barcode play it slow against Colossus Snake Eyes deck earlier, but I think you don't have that luxury against Tenpai Dragon. They explode the game in a single turn, and you have to match that pace. But
Equation cannon?
To actually run interference
Why?
On this Hita.
I don't know whether it's actually going to resolve. I think what Barcode's main priority is here at the moment,
they're activating a trap so that they can summon a labyrinth.
Goes with any kind of trap card activation, so you can always activate the simultaneous equation cannon, but you don't have to resolve it then afterwards. There you go, just banishing cards, not banishing.
Oh, it's just for the prison.
Lord of the Heavenly Prison activates, and the good thing is, yes, the protection is gone now. Not that important in the end phase anymore, but we do get to set another card from our deck here.
That's true, and once we have access to the likes of your Big Welcome Labyrinth,
setting the Welcome Labyrinth,
it does mean we can maybe push for game next turn, which is exactly what Barcode needs to do against the Tenpai Dragon.
So they didn't need the protection of the Heavenly Prison anymore. Send it, summon it to set a Welcome Labyrinth from the deck.
Of that, but Barcode, can he?
We're covering Emre over here.
He has 3,000 attack, on the field right now. Can he get a little bit more? Welcome Labyrinth does come out.
I think it's good from Emre's side that he did pass on that Hita, because if now Barcode wants to destroy the Hita, he will still have to deal with the Genroku eventually coming out of it. And on the other hand, if Barcode just finds a way into big Welcome Labyrinth, I think we're going to have the same situation developing again, because Lord goes back to the hand eventually. You can activate the Lord of the Heavenly Prison again, and then you would be safe once more. Okay, we do take the chance of attacking over the Hita, the Fire Charmer. So this could be Genroku coming out of this. No response, apparently.
1500 or less defense from the deck to the hand, and it will be the Genroku. And adding it to the hand does mean we can special summon it. It will mitigate some of this damage, and it will potentially offer us the opportunity to extend further. Quick effect can tribute it, can summon something else.
Genroku to protect themselves.
Right now declaring attacks, which
Carol Ellie, what is going on?
Sengenpai Bident Dragon or the Transcendent Dragon. I feel like we could just go for Chandra here right away. Maybe Pydra to just have some follow-up for the next turn.
It's slightly bigger, but it's okay.
Or just go for the Fadra instead, as Fadra, of course, when bringing back the...
It's tough to do these things on the fly.
With no battle destruction for the rest of the turn, as long as that card is face up and not negated, of course.
Yeah.
So, Barcode contemplating. Are we going to continue attacking? We do. Okay, yeah, that's not much of a result there from...
Dude, Emery's face.
Into the Tempai Dragon Fadra, sitting there in defense position like a wall. Does Barcode have big Welcome Labyrinth here?
You don't want to attack the Tempais, don't you? You don't want to do that.
I think we really want to make sure to get that Lord of the Heavenly Prison back into our hand, as that card is doing so much for you to protect from Feather Duster, from Lightning Storm, and all those kind of cards. Lightning Storm, little less of a concern, of course, right now, as the Fadra now is on the field. Still, though, I think against the odd chance of the Harpiest Feather Duster, you really want to make sure to get that card into the hand.
Yeah, definitely just super, super valuable to have Lord of the Heavenly Prison protecting these face-down traps. Some of them could be spells, but probably
very
traps.
unlikely.
It's Labyrinth.
I don't know.
Yeah, again, though, we're kind of approaching a very difficult territory of that turn 4. Even turns for Tenpai, always very scary, giving them another battle phase. Here comes the Lady Labyrinth effect chained on top of the destructive Daruma Karma Cannon.
That's a good card to have. Dimensional Barrier in this deck. You are able to search it or set it directly.
The barrier.
But afterwards, just passing it over, the Lord stays on the field and not in the hand. Therefore, now a face-down monster. So Lightning Storm could be activated onto this, as we just did the trick here for Emre. It is.
Oh, no way.
Okay.
What? All right, they got the Duster blowing out the back row with a Solemn Judgment negate. Holy crap.
Traps are also a little bit valuable if you can access them. Much harder to actually get into the hand than the normal traps, but hard drawing Solemn Judgment this time around. Really, really good for Barcode here. Does offer insurance against the Harpy's Feather Duster, but can it protect...
Eradicator would go crazy.
Chandra as it now hits the field.
I mean, we could possibly just go into a Black
Or
Rose
Epidemic.
Black Rose Dragon, of course, with the Dimensional Barrier being set, would also be a little problematic, as that kind of just negates it. Okay, we do see the Synchro Summon in the main phase. I think we're going to have the good old Black Rose Dragon here trying to diminish that field. Nope, it is just Sengenpai Biden Dragon.
You had me excited then for Black Rose Dragon, but
Solemn Strike.
Immediately running into
Double Solemn.
Special summon. We said just then, counter traps can be so valuable but so hard to find in this deck. But Barcode hard drawing.
I wonder what kind of camera they're using
here and using them at exactly the right time.
Ooh, Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners would be such a great card.
This guy's dual mate is Time Wizard.
Monsters, but it only works on face-up monsters, and therefore another card that Emre can activate, and we have to go into defense mode. I kind of want to say here on Emre's side, as he's just setting cards, which is really not what the Tempai Dragon deck tries to do.
You
so
are
the
not
combination
gonna
of
win.
solemn cards, was it here really for Barcode?
You are not going to win the set cards game against Labyrinth.
Nope, not really. And even a possible Widow Anchor, When we flip up that Lady Labyrinth in a second, we cannot even target it.
The Widow Anchor just negates. They got an afterburner that could destroy a monster.
Unfortunately, don't quite have
Maybe.
6,850 on the field right now, so could very well mean Emre gets another turn here.
Which would be crucial, because giving Tenpai another chance to just have that impactful turn, I feel like Barcode really wants to make sure to possibly end it this turn. Does he have a Welcome Labyrinth? Does he have a big Welcome Labyrinth? Those would be the cards possibly making the difference here. Attacking now with the Lord 2. And he does also give him some more damage. Now still in the battle phase. Maybe a big welcome, maybe a regular Welcome Labyrinth. No, Barcode lacking those, but setting another card. Emre, though, doesn't matter really how many life points he has, as long as he can get himself out of this again.
Turn does change to Emre. We said Tenpai Dragon on even numbered turns. Very, very scary, and does potentially have a way to deal with these spell and trap cards. Sky Striker maneuver afterburner is now going to come out. Target the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Do we have a response from Barcode? Is there possibly a response from Barcode? Dimensional Barrier still makes this Tenpai Dragon deck really, really suffer.
I mean, I think you have to activate the Dimensional Barrier here, because otherwise the Sky Striker maneuver afterburners with 3 spell cards in the graveyard will just be able to destroy one of the cards in the spell and trap zone from Barcode. Therefore, they know where the Dimensional Barrier is, so they would probably just go after that one. Therefore, good decision from Barcode to rule that chance out of him destroying it, and immediately now also chaining the Lady Labyrinth off the silver card. So getting another trap card, maybe another Dimensional Barrier even. Let's see
Different
what we're
name.
going for.
Has to be a different name, so I assume it will be another welcome or big welcome.
Yes, finally a big Welcome Labyrinth indeed. So, which one are we going to destroy here? Which one are we going for? We are going for
Anti-spell fragrance is destroyed.
Anti-spell fragrance has been chilling there, not even activating it in the draw phase, funnily enough, interestingly enough.
Going to take control.
Oh, life
of
points
this
are...
thing.
What? A third judgment?
Another solemn judgment. We said
Holy
counter
crap.
traps can be so valuable for this deck, but you have to manually hard draw them from the deck, and that's exactly what Barcode did here. He got Solemn Judgment, he got Solemn Strike, and he gets another Judgment on top of it. I said earlier I love trap decks because I love Dynamorphia. 1038 as a number is
You
still
don't see that every day. You definitely don't, especially not with the Labyrinth deck. And Emre does have the Forbidden Droplet, but how does that help you right now? Sending the Cult by the Grave? Okay, okay. We know the last card said for Barcode is a card that he cannot activate this turn. Emre, does he have a normal summon here?
So the effect of the Lady Labyrinth is turned off right now, but what does Emre have to follow up on this?
Battle phase. Oh, there's a Kaiman. There is a Sungin Kaiman. Oh my.
Kaiman will start things off for Emre. You have the addition of the Pydra.
Kaiman, getting the Pydra.
Where do we go with the summoned Pydra? Keep in mind that this middle trap was set
In the battle phase.
The big welcome. It can't be activated right now. This was a hard-fought game. It's not over yet. 850 life points for Emre. 1038 for Barcode.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure Emre can push 1038 points of damage.
I don't think he can
The
this turn. How would he
spell,
do it?
the trap in the back row for the labyrinth is not activatable.
Also doesn't do anything, so I think we're going to still not end
No
it.
way.
38 is now the current life point
Emre
total.
ahead by 12.
This is crazy. It's still not over.
First game of the finals very much deserved to be the finals here, but Barcode now with the luxury of having finally that big welcome labyrinth on the field.
12 life point difference is insane.
And could very well welcome.
If they can't put a monster on the field, oh, big welcome labyrinth. They're going to summon from the deck, but then they have to return it, so it's like nothing even happened. They're going to want to get the labyrinth that summons from the hand if a labyrinth
It's not bad to have
card was activated that turn.
set in the spell and trap zone, because it definitely grants you some protection on your turn.
Or maybe they just get an Ariana and then just summon it.
Dangerous to be there in the attack
That's
phase.
what it is. They get a lady, and then a lady can summon it because labyrinth or Carter effect or a normal trap was activated this turn. But they're gonna actually reset. Oh, because they bounce themselves. The welcome labyrinth in the graveyard resets.
Probably just runs away with it, to be honest.
Lady Labyrinth added back to the hand, going to special summon itself in defense.
Oh.
still got one unknown card in the hand of Barcode, but ultimately it's just going to be another trap. It's going to be another face down here, and this should go promptly to the end phase for Barcode.
850 to 838. Can Emre sort out that battle damage here, or is Barcode still holding on to it? What could be a draw here? Sang and Kaiman, first of all.
Kaiman.
Phase.
In the main
The
phase.
problem right now for Emre is we have already been through through Fadra. We have already been through Chandra, meaning there is not that much value here in terms of main deck Tenpai monsters in there anymore.
Theoretically,
so
you add Genroku and then summon Genroku?
as a tuner, that's what I would expect as well. So because that gives you access to the Biden Dragon, which can then bring back Fadra or Chandra. So I feel like that's very much what you're trying to do here, but instead
Look at another
Gets Pydra.
Hydra it is. This is good though, because Pydra gives us access, of course, to then be Sengen Summoning, and Sengen Summoning can still give us Vegan Roku, but all of our plays then are even protected by the Sengen Summoning. Therefore, I think very smart and heads-up move here by Emre, going down that route. And if Barcode wants to deal with this, I think he will have to chain to it, but he doesn't chain to it at all, actually.
And this game was so back and forth. In fact, it's still so back and forth that I'm hesitant to say that Emre can win it here. Granted, it does look pretty good. Sungen Summoning going to hit the field.
Well, they're unaffected.
To activate its effect, the battle phase calls for the Tenpai Dragon here.
So we have to search for that Tenpai Dragon Genroku here, making it a tuner, making it level 4, finally giving us a way into our extra deck again.
Suddenly, that Kiki Nagashi Fucho tech in the extra deck probably won't do a lot if Emre is not playing Tenpai for the foreseeable future anyway.
Very true. Barcode. Does he have... There's not really something you can do about this, I feel like. What could be the set cards here? Something really, really, really solid could be a dimensional barrier, of course. That
All I know is we have rated Emery when they were streaming, and they were really cool, so we're rooting for them.
Can be used as you have a face-up.
Sorry, Barcode, I don't know you.
To go after any card on the field, any face-up card on the field, and bring it back to the hand here. So Sengen Summoning not resolving. Plan was good by Emre, but doesn't work out in the end. Link 2, is that a Hita again? Oh, we just go for seals. All right.
Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, of course, going to come out.
Man, this is a wild game for the first game of the finals, to be honest.
Seal?
Players had already a really,
Dude, this is crazy.
tough encounter.
He had to play against Josh. I wish we saw that.
Seconds of their timer, eventually seeing Emre timing out in that match. But I'm sure they're really low on timer time here as well.
Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, of course, it can bounce one card, but unfortunately only during your opponent's turn.
Nicely though, does
Dude,
not
a frickin'
target,
seal?
Can interact with the Lady Labyrinth, even though they are set cards. Now though in the end phase though, I can see Barcode activate.
Welcome, Labyrinth. Oh, man. It's over for Tenpai, I think.
Plays cards like Ariana and stuff. Oh,
Once they chain link to the lady in the end phase, and they're setting up another trap for the next turn, they're like getting leagues. They're getting so far ahead of you that it's crazy. We'll see. Dominus Impulse. New card.
Can actually deal with the graveyard effect of the seal, as that would special summon from the deck, of course. To the field as well now. This is looking solid here for Barcode.
Again, we said this game
Just going to battle.
highly competitive.
They bounce.
Previously mentioned I'd be hesitant
You get bounced, and then you negate their summon, and you're still going into battle, and the Labyrinth wins. Unless there's something
12 life points
in the back row
We're
for
still
Tenpai.
in this game from both sides here. Barcode, though, it's his turn. He's made it 9 turns against Tenpai Dragon. And he
That's pretty crazy, making it this long against Tenpai. Oh, they're in turn 9.
In the draw phase,
Seal, tribute, to bounce.
That's just such an absurd thing to hear.
Oh.
But that is in fact here the scenario, the situation in our
Yeah, it's not looking good for Tenpai over here.
in game 1 of it. That's going to be hard to top in the remaining games that we're going to see, because this first game already offers us so much.
All of the games between these two have been great.
Absolute fun and entertainment for sure. Emre gets to resolve the Heretic Seals here.
returning the lady, and the seal will summon from the deck, and they're not even going to impulse.
I imagine so. We could theoretically.
They do. They'll impulse it. So the impulse will negate an effect, a card or effect that special summons a monster.
Granted, you do lose access to.
But then they cannot activate light, earth, or wind monster effects for the rest of the turn. But they're dark. Light, earth, or wind. So fire, dark, water. Is that a thing?
Or no, Water with his Snake Eye Fire.
Yeah, I think it does kind of ruin Blue Eyes.
Yes, yes, exactly. Nalbo, the lovely Labyrinth activating.
Oh wow, the lovely resetting the impulse, but the Widow Anchor negate. Oh, they're gonna take control of it as well.
You could consider to chain
But it's their turn.
from the graveyard here, though. If there is another one.
Oh, only if activated from the hand. If it's set, it's for free. Oh, there's no restriction. I understand.
Coming back here. Lady Labyrinth activating, so Barcode still sitting strong.
So it turns off the attribute or type attribute restriction
Working for Emra. Okay, welcome Labyrinth.
if it's set. Kind of like how the Imperm has the extra effect, but this doesn't. This takes away the restriction.
How many? Like, is that just going? I think that's just going to be another Lady Labyrinth, if I would have to guess. Just more and more big attack point monsters, and Emra is just running out of 10-pie cards in his deck, to be honest. Like,
Who were we worried about abusing the impulse? Because it looks like
noteworthy for sure that we're running some
Labyrinth is doing that just fine.
And what is the monster? Yep, just another Lady Labyrinth. Are we even going to attack over our lovely here? No way, right?
Very strong meta read from Barcode coming into this, though, because both decks are optimized to deal with Tenpai Dragon.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have Dimensional Barrier in this one. You
It would be
have
an extra Imperm.
Nagashi Fucho in the Snake Eyes deck.
Oh wait, you don't even need. You don't need to clear field.
But it's not over yet. Emre has come back from worse. He's got.
Wait, we're still in this game?
And ready to go as well. And Tenpai Dragon. Can it?
Dude, I don't think. I don't think Tenpai even has any more gas left.
Card that was known as we just put it back into the hand of Emre in the last turn. But what could one Genroku do against all of this here with not really any great targets for it remaining in the deck? I feel like normally Sangen Summoning resolving almost feels like winning the game sometimes. But here, it doesn't really feel like it can accomplish that much, to be honest.
Tenpai ran out of gas.
Let's see. Maybe
I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life.
Adding a Tenpai Dragon from the deck to the hand, but not too many of those left, you have to imagine.
We're adding Genroku.
Going to be the dragon of choice here. Going to special summon itself.
First off, we need to discard something, and we're going to discard a Heavy Storm.
Okay.
Oh my. That's usually a card you want to activate against the Labyrinth strategy, but then we had no card to discard otherwise anymore for the second summoning, therefore we just have to give up on it here. Genroku activating, but as I said, like, what's even left in there? What is there even is? So
There's nothing left.
right now, we see
Striker Dragon.
thinking of Barcodes, thinking about whether to respond here right away.
Careful not to think too much, because that was how we decided the group stage matchup between these two.
Very, very true. Level 4 Genroku.
I'm a bit concerned that we're not going to get much value out of this tribute for summoning one from the deck based on how many are it.
Damn, hit him with that D barrier.
Dimensional Barrier going to keep the synchros in the extra deck.
I don't even know whether there would
Like I said,
into synchro monsters from
the moment they started doing the lady chain link 2 to their trap, setting traps from the deck,
just another trap card
it's
coming
over.
Barcode's way.
You could be world champion Emery. Don't matter.
That would be a solid one, I think. It is Torrential
okay.
Tribute. That's an OG card. What a flex here. In case Barcode cannot play his Labyrinth deck anymore if he wins.
Not 100%, but good luck after that. After that starts happening.
I like it a lot. And now Emre.
Unless you've got like some serious firepower.
Okay. So we played with Barcode activating monster effects in the battle phase there, so that our triple tactics Frost is live. What's left in there though? Right, Geki is. You gotta notice though, the Lady Labyrinths. They can't be destroyed by
They can't be destroyed.
We still, of course, have set cards here on the field.
They have
They
protection.
lose that lovely Labyrinth, but we gotta keep the 2 Lady Labyrinth, and therefore we don't really care about that Raigeki. Usually it is destroying the entire field. Here in that case, though, only a 1-for-1 trade. So it's looking marvelous for Barcode, who is going to go
Trap trick. Banish big welcome Labyrinth. Set a big welcome. It's activatable this turn.
I'm surprised they had another big welcome in the deck to be able to...
これが俺の切り札にして最強のしもべ
Alvi, what is going on? Alvi? Alvi?
Coming back onto the field, going to add back the Lady Labyrinth.
And going to activate its effect. So this is a way of just making sure Genroku will also be destroyed. Even if we chain Genroku, the monster it summons out would immediately be destroyed. So this is the way to victory for Barcode. Gone is the last monster on the field for Emre. Plenty of strong attack points for Barcode, though, on the other hand. This would even be enough to go for 8,000 points of damage, and he only needs 850 here.
Barcode, after a hard-fought back and forth, weathers the storm that is the Tenpai Dragon deck, gets all the way from turn 2 to turn 11, and he...
Yeah, a turn 11 against Tenpai is insane.
Just pressure his lead here to look to close this one out, and to finally deal that 850 points of damage that was needed to close out game 1 of our grand final.
Turn 11, game 1 against Tenpai.
World champion Emre 0. So Barcode came into this tournament with confidence for a reason. As you said, his deck choices really made sense with the tech cards that he included against specifically the Tenpai Dragon strategy, though. On the other end, we gotta admit, now there is probably not that much Tenpai going on anymore.
Yeah, exactly that.
Oh wait, no, I mean, he has to still win with Tenpai, though, if he wants to win the tournament, Emre.
It's true. But unfortunately...
これが俺の切り札にして最強のしもべ
Goku Daish.
Despite that,
That's an interesting name.
Even into purposeful Tenpai counter. So, you know, credit to Emre where credit is due.
Yeah.
Now, Fiendsmith Snake Eye, a definite comfort for Barcode, and it will be the choice.
I want one of those jackets.
Second duel. Emre, on the other hand, now has the luxury of choosing between Tenpai Dragon or the Blue Eyes that we saw him defeat Josh in the mirror match with earlier.
So, it's a tough one to call here, but I feel like you may just probably pick the Tenpai Dragon deck here, because on the other hand, if you don't pick it here, your opponent knows that you will have it in the last and third game, and then, of course, they have all the luxury of sending the Tenpai Dragon Striker deck first, and therefore I feel like your best shot is just to bring it here, trying to win that second game, and then in the third game, probably, hopefully, close it out with the Blue Eyes strategy.
Yep, I realize Emre's using 2 Dragon decks, by the way. Yeah.
He's a Dragon Enjoyer for sure.
Graduated from the birds.
Yep, and that's just a natural evolution guide. But we are, of course, going to decide who is going to win that. I mean, the trophies, they are similar to each other, of course. Both have neons on them, but the important part, and the part they really care about, is the prestige that goes with that #1 on one of them, and of course the title of them being the Invitational Champion.
Indeed, we will decide first place here. We've had the first game of this final happen. We saw Barcode convincingly take it with the Labyrinth, but this time on Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, he's going to have to defeat Emre once more. Emre, Tenpai Dragon, or Blue Eyes White Dragon, it doesn't matter. He has the choice of which he wants to take here, and it will be going second chosen for him here. And that will very likely
Snake Eye.
Tenpai Dragon is the choice.
Deception, tribute to Max C. We get a bonfire. I'm surprised they're playing this and not the Millennium stuff.
Resolving Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Certainly more important, as that at least gives you, at some point, the Ilya Sylvia, which is quite a bit better against the Tenpai Dragon deck, of course.
Snake Eyes Ash going to add the Snake Eyes Poplar. The Snake Eyes starters are here in full force. Emre, on the other hand, presumably by choosing second, is on the Tenpai Dragon Sky Striker again, so there isn't much in terms of disruption, but rather removing a problem field from the get-go. Can we see that? Can we see Emre deal with the tech from Barcode here? 2 level 1s. Xyz immediately reads it as Tenpai Dragon and immediately goes into the Kiki Nagashi Fucho.
He lost that card.
What did he say? Kiki Nagashi Fucho?
But there's nothing
Wow.
else to it. And I like this approach because honestly, the last time he made the Fucho against Emre, he didn't really have that great of a follow-up. But this time, he invested very little resources into it. And this card alone should, in theory, be good enough to win him this turn at least.
Yeah, but you just do the Fucho on top of everything else at the end.
But here, speaking of follow-up,
Well, that's what the Fire King way. I don't know if you can do still do.
commitment, if
Oh, yes.
I've ever seen one. You saw when Emre used it into his matchup.
But the Millennium Snake Eye won first place in the Duelist Cup.
Of everything else in his hand to not have to lose it all. But facing down a winged beast, you know, Emre, we said used to use Flunderies, used to be the one with all the winged beasts, but it is one causing a lot of problems right now. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Raigeki being used to try and force out the Kiki Nagashi Fucho's effect. Doesn't force out much of anything, just makes a nice...
Mathmech got first place in the Duelist Cup.
Cool, didn't do anything though. Now the call, I think Emre is desperately trying to bait out a monster effect here, possibly signalizing that he does have the triple tactic talents, triple tactic thrust, or something with the likes of that. We did get
He
some
wanted to load the
spell
graveyard
cards
with
into
spells.
the graveyard,
Yeah, okay.
indeed.
Just to try and draw an extra answer here.
Sky Striker, mobilize, engage. What is it going to get us?
Because they have 3 or more spells in the graveyard, they're going to get the extra bonus effect of the engage to draw cards. So they add the Afterburner
As far as I'm concerned, Afterburner
and draw a card.
Okay, so which one did I miss? Obviously, the Into the Void started everything.
Yeah.
So there was a third spell card in there, and there is another.
Now
Sky Striker mobilize,
engage,
You could call this engage into engage here, which of
another
course
engage,
what you want
adding Widow Anchor,
to get those
but the
out.
Fucho is unaffected. It's unaffected and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects.
To follow up on the Afterburners that was also added, 6 cards in hand for Emre. Needs to use them all. or
Unaffected, what are you gonna do?
lose them all once the Into the Void resolves in the end phase. Now, thinking about what to do, the Afterburners does come out.
The Fucho
Picks
is
up monster
thick.
reveal, Kiki Nagashi Fucho shrugs it off, does not care, is unaffected. However, there is a spell and trap card that does look kind of tempting to try to remove.
Yeah, but I mean, the Afterburner only does that
Ah, yeah,
when
if
you
you
also
get the
destroy the
successful
monster. So
destruction,
it's
yeah.
one thing after the other, and there is the third Sky Striker mobilize engage.
The third engage, third draw, they got a Hornet Drone. But what are you gonna do?
Yep, he has all of the engages, but none
There's
of them
no,
which to remove.
there's no way to get rid of the Fucho. I don't know.
Maybe he was
How do they do it?
hoping to go into like a kaiju or something, but I don't think he's running any of that.
Yeah, you would
So
need a
this is really
Kaiju,
fun.
Santa
Maybe
Claus,
defensive cards to stop
Herald of the Abyss.
coming up. All right, there is now the Sky
Hornet
Striker
drones.
token being produced off of Hornet drones. We make a Gari, so Emre, maybe for his second game, his challenge is just to resolve engage as often as possible. I feel like we might add back the Hornet drones here instead.
I mean, if he recycles engage again, that would be pretty cool. Imagine activating and drawing 4 cards, 4 engages, draw 4.
It also is pretty fair to say that Barcode does not plan on activating any monster effects here this turn.
Yeah.
He does not want to play into Triple Tactic Frost. He does not want to
No
play into
disruption
Talons either.
whatsoever.
That Fucho just sits there, chilling, not scared of anything. And that Afterburner, it tries
That's
to
true. The only
was
way
ready.
the Fucho player Barcode loses is if they play into a thrust or talent.
Hydra, so
Again, this is a full commitment from Emre. If he does not commit all of these cards, he will lose them all. If he does not close it out in this turn, he will lose this.
That's
duel
very good as well.
challenge.
That's a good
It's the
observation.
previous one going on. So,
Emery
maybe we do have to come
activated
back
into the void.
It's,
So they have to use all the cards in their hand. They have to commit them to the field in some way or another, or they're going to be gone.
commit. He's willing to do everything he can to close this one out, and he's willing to play Sangen Summoning, which, by the way, he drew, and then added the Sangen Kaimen on top of it. So very much a few options on the table for Emre, even if he's not able to deal with Kiki Nagashi Fucho immediately.
yeah, I think the game plan for the Tenpai Dragon deck changes drastically when you face a card like Kikinagachi Fucho, because all of a sudden
Dude,
you're not
just say
trying to win
Fucho,
the game
please.
anymore, but instead, very untypical for the deck, you're trying to set up the best field possible to stop your opponent from playing, which is not how the deck really is designed.
I
So
wanna
you're
know
just forced to do
how
that
much
as the
space is in
progress
between
here.
them.
So the cards you're aiming to go for are most likely going to be the Transcendent Dragon and the Biden Dragon in the graveyard, so that you can just work with them on your opponent's
Kiki
turn.
Nagashi?
Then when they start
Kiki
attacking,
Nagashi? I could say that
also
fast. It's not that bad.
possible
Kiki
of
Nagashi
seal,
Fucho?
or even
It probably means small bird in
just the
Japanese.
Biden in the main phase,
Yep.
probably. Yeah,
Could
that is
very
just
well be.
Sangenpai Biden Dragon. So yeah, we're just trying to set up. I almost want to call it combo field, even though that's not really what the Tenpai Dragon deck is. But for the moment, it is what it has to be. Which-
Emre feeling the pressure for sure here, just off of the Kiki Nagashi Fucho. You know, there is kind of this expectation
No.
for him to carry on.
Kiki Nagashi Fucho
Josh's tournament
in
hopes as well. You know,
Japanese
if
to
they
English
it, it
means
feels good.
listening to
You
it,
need win.
apparently.
You need to bring it back for the Snipe Hunters, but Barcode says
Mark, what is going on?
Says no.
Good to see you.
Sure, of course,
I was looking today.
boring.
I wanted to figure out how far behind we were.
Into attack position, not caring about it on resolution though. Barcode has now made.
We
a
might be
decision
11 tournament
just
videos behind. I'll help.
the effect of Fucho.
And it just,
It does make sense because probably what Emre did
if that's
is
the
something
case,
that he wants to go
just
into
do
the
top
battle
fours or
and,
some shit until we get caught up or something.
activate it anymore.
If we're even gonna.
So makes sense that
But
Barcode here
the lures are going good.
will that
I'm really
now
glad.
will be able to activate both
30 years behind.
triple tactic talent. Which of those does he have?
I thought you lost faith in me.
Draws out the
Thrust.
triple tactics thrust, of course, no surprise. He drew plenty
Oh,
of
we
thrusts
knew they
in
had the
this,
thrust.
So
And they're in the second main phase.
and they're
How did they force the
Level 2.
or maybe just I mean drawing doesn't really give you
Monster
that much because you have to
effect?
discard in the end
Ah,
of
the
turn.
Fucho.
However, you look into the
Quite a lot.
hand and take out something that's
Okay.
scary, and
What?
Emre agrees. We all get to see the hand of Barcode. Maxi, not too scary, but there are
Why
some
didn't we
scary
take
cards.
control of the
One for
Fucho?
one and original Sinful Spoils here. And I feel like original Sinful Spoils
Is it not? Is it unaffected from a talent as well?
One at least requires you to have another card invested, and so that's easier to deal with as they
One for one requires a monster. It's unaffected by card effects. I thought taking control of it was kind of different. But I see. I know what you mean. I know. He tried to kill it with Afterburner.
Decision of the world champion, of course, is because he's the one looking at this hand there the most urgently at the moment. And it is the one for one
Yep.
instead. Okay, I see.
Kind of surprised it's the
Alright,
one for one.
disagreeing. And Barcode. He did not do much on his first turn, only summoned the Fucho basically ready to have a powerful turn 3. But now it is Sengen Kaiman in the battle phase from Emre. As said, he's just playing it as a combo deck here. He's trying to summon out as many monsters as all the cards otherwise in hand would have to be discarded in the end.
That's
to
right.
Into the void.
Emery's hand at the end of the turn is going to go away because of the Into the Void.
Another monster will be summoned. It's going to be interesting to see though, because that Kagari there in the extra monster zone, how do we get rid of it? Because you want to summon that Hieratic Seal into the extra monster zone. Probably Promethean Princes, but we're locked into dragons here. Therefore, that's not even an option anymore.
Couple of attacks do connect. We could very well see the synchro summon, but before then, Biden.
Biden Dragon indeed. Using the effect not only to
Destroy
summon
the
Biden, but
deception,
also
but deception's
destroy
gonna come
the
back.
of the Sinful Spoils here. Pydra
Right?
Synchro Summoning. Is there maybe something
Synchro Summon level 10.
like the good old Ruddy Rose in this extra deck, which could possibly
Bide-
clear out the graveyard?
the
No,
Trident?
It is just Trident Dragon instead.
Okay.
That's a powerhouse in terms of
That's
attacking.
the way to get rid
but
of the Kagari from the
indeed,
extra
and that's
monster
probably the
zone.
main reason why we summoned that card here. Yeah, it can attack 3 times into the Kagikanigachi Fuchu there, which is not going to help though, okay? Transcendent Dragon also...
It can attack 3 times into nothing.
In the spell and trap card zone as well.
Which does make sense.
Alright, they're popping the Poplar, but will the Poplar reset? No? Okay.
Remaining in the hand of Barcode. But that's also now, as both the Biden
They're gonna have to do a
and
seal.
Canadian are once per duel, now meaning that he can't use it on the opponent's turn anymore.
Oh my gosh, Mark.
Heretic Seal.
We're gonna make it.
Right. We can't clear up the main monster zones here.
We're gonna get that
So
Spotify premium subscription.
Anchors not able to activate here anymore due to us having monsters in the main monster zone. All right. Something that some people sometimes forget though is Heretic Seal does not have to tribute itself. You can also tribute monsters from the main monster
It's
zone.
true they contribute something else, but why would they want to do that?
We'll have to see. But that could only clear one of them. Therefore, you would still be left with one. It's an interesting situation for sure. Barcode.
Well, if you don't tribute itself, then it doesn't get the effect to summon.
And
We do
one
start
Azamina
Deception.
continuous spell as well. I think the Hallowed Azamina.
Yes. Hallowed is also waiting already.
I was gonna say,
to be
you should
activated.
go to fishing spots and offer, just give people one lure.
Zamina with the
And say,
face
hey, I'm making these, and you give them like a card, you give them your number if you want these, or your website or whatever.
Which one is it going to be? It is Azamina Musialago.
Videos of you using them,
Amra, you really see.
and then making
Such a long
TikTok or
time,
whatever
so
of you using them.
Time and time here again.
30 cents.
Now, probably not his main
Did you see the drug game that we're
Some
playing, Schedule 1?
first monster here with the Musialago.
We're giving away drugs to kids to get new customers in the game.
Into the
And they're not kids, it's a joke.
so powerful Black Witch. And I mean, we have the option to immediately go into an SP Little Knight here, honestly, to be fair.
SP Little Knight.
For anything else. Yup.
Yep.
That is a Link summon.
And with the fusion
Selling
component,
drugs to
with the
kids.
additional banish.
And it
And
is
And don't clip me out of
Summon,
context.
though.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. That is a card, though, I gotta say. Seems like a prime target for me to be getting back into the extra deck with the Heretic Seal, the Heavenly Spheres, and that is what Amra agrees with. So we do not get value.
Well, the good news is we'll have daily uploads for a while.
So we lost the face-up card to send for the original Simple Spoilers Snake Eye, but we can still use the wanted to get Diabell Star and then.
I was wondering how far apart they are.
Maxi in hand still, by the way.
Maxi. Actually, you're right. Maxi is in hand, and we did not activate it on the graveyard effect of Heretic Seal there. We could have turned that into a different card.
Stop
Decided
to.
not to do so. Now,
Just the
Musialago,
finals.
though, is in the graveyard, linked off for the Moon of the Closed Heaven. We can activate the Hallowed Azamina in the graveyard, returning Musialago to the extra deck, and also returning the Hallowed Azamina into the hand there. Activating it, meaning we can bring out Ilya Sylvia now if we like. Yeah, that gotta be our protection here with the Ilya Sylvia. Chaining Wanted, Seeker of Simple Spoils, of course, though, making sure that we get that extra card here out of it.
Yep. Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils going to add the Diabell Star, the Black.
Dude, it's gonna have to be just the top 4 because for the first 5 of them, we're gonna be uploading tournaments from a month and a half ago.
Send it, even though it already did its duty of searching and resolving. But
No one's gonna watch that shit.
basically Fusion summon for completely free there.
But it's gotta be done.
Ilya Sylvia getting summoned
For chronologically, it's tough.
Hallowed Azamina.
Yep. Access to a negation if needed. Here's the banish of the wanted to get a draw.
Yeah, so Emra had full knowledge for Barcode's hand at the beginning of the draw.
This is live right now between Emery and Barcode.
Therefore, information from Emra is
Game
somewhat
2.
limited at this point. And how
I do
are we
wonder
going
if we're
to go?
keeping the Maxi for a normal summon to that. Speaking of normal summons, by the way.
Normals the Snake Eye Oak, and there is a target in the graveyard still to bring back.
Dave taking over.
Poplar.
That's right.
It is the Poplar. It could also be the Snake Eye Ash, but Snake Eye Ash does not have a target to search for anymore. I mean, Poplar possibly does not even either, but he does have that powerful graveyard effect later on. Again, do we play the Temple? We do apparently play the Temple.
You've got to play the temple, bro.
Snake Eye Temple will be searched here off of
No
the
way
Snake
he's
Eye
not playing the
Poplar.
Temple.
There it is, the Divine Temple even.
Temple, place the Snake Eye Diabell. Let's see what they do with that,
Yeah,
though.
that should be Diabell's Snake Eye here. Or Snake Eye's
Oak,
so the other
sending the
way around.
Diabell and itself, summon the Flamberge, using the Flamberge and the Poplar.
Onto the field, and you gotta imagine that those set cards for Emre, there are Widow Anchors, which he cannot activate while controlling monsters.
Third monitor is great. I'm working on fourth monitor.
To be in for Emre right now, while Barcode is just establishing more and more and more monsters, now going for Linkuriboh as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Linkuriboh. We're gonna Poplar.
I mean,
No, what are we doing? No, what?
how impressive would that be if Barcode would just overcome the world champion that Emre is here with a 2-0 victory in the finals? That would be really, I mean,
Bro, now you're gonna Diabell? Okay.
And to show that he has
Put the Ashe into the back row.
and that he does also have all right to be very,
I mean, I guess so. But where's the Flamberge?
like he came into this saying,
He
I will
narrowly
win this.
made it out
Yeah.
of the group stage,
No,
but
but confident. I was searching for the word of confidence. He was
Remain
so
confident.
confident, yeah. And he was right.
My fourth monitor is just gonna be a TV that's mounted on my wall to watch videos.
not quite over yet though, as we do have Moonal Close having now linked off into the Fiendsmith aspect of this deck. Still, the game is not over. We still have an opportunity for Emre to come back. You said Widow Anchors firmly offline, but can Barco create something that can actually get over this Sun Empire Transcendent Dragon by the time he enters his battle phase?
I'm sure he can, but I mean, the moment he starts getting those monsters off the field, of course, that also equally means that he will have to then deal with the Widow Anchor, because then the field will be free of monsters. Okay, we do now have the Requiem equipped to the Fiendsmith.
Dude, where's the Flamberge? Oh, we're gonna Oak. What?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Used, but Call by the Grave going to stop that. It's going to run interference. And
The Sylvia negate.
That's a good card to resolve, though. So I think we want to make sure that it does resolve, and therefore we protect.
Yeah,
it.
Sylvia will negate the called by.
Yep, the Ilya Sylvia negate, of course, just being once because you tribute it, but it does work out in the end. Oak does resolve. Oak does start another combo for Barcode. Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon now hitting the field. It has
Flamberge. He's right, it's Flamberge.
Dragon, but I don't think Barcode is done there.
Dude, Mark, I've been saying it for weeks. I think everyone's lost a lot of motivation to play Master Duel with 7 Maxis and Snake Eye everywhere. Fiendsmith, I think everyone's feeling it.
Which one is it even going to be? Probably just another.
I've been saying it for a while.
Not really going to do too much here. Now the Fiendsmith.
I was the-
Which card are we going to send to the graveyard? Is it going to be?
I was the canary in the coal mine.
Protects everything here from being destroyed by battle, and indeed it is. Fadra gone. Now the Flamberge Dragon clearing the Transcendent as
The thing is, you gotta be so hardcore about it to play this game.
Attack point Pydra there.
You have to be so hardcore about it.
8,000, but still not done for Barcode here.
You can't. It's like having a second
So
job.
of course, even though Pydra on
Even I feel overwhelmed sometimes.
no battle damage
And I played this game for 10,000 hours. I'm supposed to be.
even get to the 8,000.
Yep, Fiendsmith sequence.
I mean, if we go into his favorite Fiendsmith actually like monster,
It's too competitive.
Desiree, as he has been summoning that
It's everyone.
all day long.
It's too
He
competitive,
goes Pydra, and he does
and
go for free
the
hits.
reward is nothing.
Once more, so that is in fact producing damage over the Pydra.
You can negate.
I don't like Desiree. Maybe I just don't play the Desiree enough to use it, but I don't like it.
Thanks to the Fiendsmith Desiree. But the link summons continue. Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames just going to add another 2,700 on top. I think we're close to the 8,000. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yep. So
Well, it's not the power level is too high for rogue decks. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well over 8,000, and this should be Barcode well on his way to closing it out and claiming first place
It does
in
look like
this
that.
event.
And I don't even think we need to use the Fiendsmith Desiree on the Pydra, because we can still go for damage after destroying that by battle without battle damage, and then save.
They probably
the
should, though.
Desiree for a potential
Oh, wait, they
Widow
can't.
Anchor that is still
It's unaffected.
waiting there. Barcode's turn has taken a while, though, and we have seen him before passing in the battle phase without attacking because of his timer being so low. Does he have enough time here to head into the battle phase and execute those attacks that he needs to win this? Oh, we are using the Fiends of Desiree here, okay, to negate our very own Promethean Princess and the Sengen summoning instead. Okay,
Yep.
that is interesting. Because we, sure enough,
So I
expect a
imagine
difference.
the Sunken Summoning was protecting
Apollo?
the Pydra from the.
No, only on
activated
your own turn, actually.
Oh, okay, yep.
So we go into Appaloosa here, attacking over the Pydra. Now we will have to deal with the Widow Anchor, though. I don't think this is going to be enough, honestly.
It's not lethal.
Camera. We can't target the Desiree, but we can just take...
This is only 7,800 damage.
What does Emra have?
Is that even 8,000, by the way?
Is it even a Widow Anchor?
Is it even a Widow Anchor is another good question, though. You're right. That is 58. That's 78. I mean, Emra can just take this. This is not game. This is 200 off. Emra realizes
if they did the
I've
Lacrima,
been winning games before. Oh,
they might be able to
Linkaribo,
burn them,
okay,
right?
that
300
is
damage differential.
enough
Can
damage.
we make it?
No way. Linkaribo? Linkaribo for lethal?
Is it Linkaribo for game?
Wow.
300 attack points. All he needs to... Oh, yeah, it
Widow
was
Anchor.
the Widow Anchor.
Okay. Good force from Barcode there. Scarily close for Emre there. Barcode not quite able to close this one out quite yet, though. Snake Eyes
Should they not have taken the Apollo?
Emre, you have one.
You should have taken the
turn.
Apollo,
Not
no?
too many Tempai Dragons left in the main deck, though. What can be done? Special summoning back the Sung Empire Transcendent Dragon, but
Oh.
Of course, taking control of it. Oh, but still, look at it. It was an absolute bait. This card was negated. Still, it baited Barcode into activating the Appaloosa there. Gave up on one negation of it. And Sengen summoning now ready to fetch any remaining Tenpai Dragons.
Tempai Dragon are remaining in the deck, though.
I think, did we go through Fadra?
Even if the Flamberge was, I guess, I don't know if the Flamberge was negated, but the Flamberge 8 and the Apollo negate.
I was gonna say maybe last game.
I think if they took the Apollo, it would have negated the Apollo completely, and it would have reduced it to 0, and they wouldn't have a negate next turn. But now they still have this Apollo with 800. Thrusting.
Tactics. Thrust. Going to get
you
a spell.
something. This could be a Raigeki once more, maybe a Dark Hole or something like that. And Barcode, he has invested.
Did they use a Desiree negate already?
So just getting rid of everything.
So they got the talent
easy, but first of all,
off the thrust.
Talents will be
Now Droll.
Now Droll and Lockbird, meaning we can at least not draw with the talents anymore.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, drawing was the plan with that talent, to be honest. To be completely realistic here, Emre thinking this through. If we take something here, it's tough, honestly. Talents will
Now the talent. Are we gonna draw 2? Take control of a monster. What are we taking control of? The Apollo, the Flamberge, Desiree.
pretty good. But we can only bring back monsters in our opponent's turn, though. So yeah, it would bring us back that card eventually. But I mean, the good thing about the
Flamberge.
it is able to attack over the Desiree. I think that's the main
F-
right now.
Push.
That's why Emre is doing that. And then
Oh.
does have Typhon in his extra deck. I think Typhon afterwards would also be good. But you gotta
Zero
remember,
would push this to game.
not
Okay.
attacking over Desiree or Appaloosa at all. Now the Flamberge Dragon trying to put the...
If that Flamberge goes to the graveyard, that will trigger to summon their 2 level 1 flyers from the grave.
But I think Typhon will be Emre's last resort here. We're going to see Typhon. Typhon will be able to deal with the Desiree as it does not target. There we have it.
Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. Now, Emre's last resort. It should be able to buy at least one more turn.
Dude, he's stealing. Barcode is stealing Henry's Transcendent Dragon.
Indeed, Temple, of course, can summon out cards from both players' spells and trap zones, and that is a card that immediately contests the Typhon.
Desiree's gone.
But we have a monster big enough to attack over the Slayer now, and it is over to Barcode again. What is that last set card for Emre? Will it this time be able to protect him? Appaloosa now, pretty weak with 0 attack there, but Barcode certainly will have another monster here, right? Oh yeah, okay.
The hollowed Azamina, returning the Sylvia to add itself back to the hand.
I mean, that alone is so good.
Yep, Hallowed Azamina, of course, going
Deception.
to some of that
They'll
extra
summon a
damage.
Sylvia again, and that's a negate.
It does mean there is going
They
to be
have lethal
more monster
plus a negate.
for Barcode, and it should be the one
Azamina,
attack needed to deal the last
revealing the Sylvia.
Transcendent Dragon.
There's the negate.
Over
This is already
Typhon.
negate plus lethal.
Sylvia is summoned. Do we just immediately head into the battle phase, or do we maybe also summon out the Maxi? Are we going to have it? Do we see Maxi for game in the deciding game of our invitational here?
Are we BMing?
Not gonna lie. That is a
They're supporting the BMing.
with Maxi for game, but I think Amr for now is thinking about something here.
I think he may have one more disruption available, but keep in mind that this Azamina Ilya will be able to run interference on 1.
That is true. So, we link off the Appaloosa here. What are we trying to go for here? Is that just Moon of the
Oh, hell no.
Okay. So
Oh, hell no.
Barco says we could have had it.
All right, now here's a whole Fiendsmith line that you gotta watch.
With my Fiendsmith cards instead, though, going into Fiendsmith Requiem, and that is going to result in a Fiendsmith Engraver as well, who is just probably a safer way, to be fair, just immediately in the main phase, making sure that that Slayer goes into the spell and trap zone. Engraver, there it is. Requiem will be joining the Engraver on the field momentarily again. There it is activated. Yep.
Fiendsmith Engraver now, just continuing to bridge these combos into more and more monsters. Here's the removal of the Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis, but here is San Gen.
It might not be full on BMing because they still got the Kaiman, but there's an Ash Blossom to negate it. Now anymore, and we're BMing.
Dealing with it, and Barcode now with so little life points remaining on Emrys' side. Barcode with his first appearance on an invitational as the title champion, the title holder, the winner of this invitational here.
Barcode in a clean 2-0 has won
2-0, a world champion, damn. Sorry, Emery. Very nice job, though, Barcode.
10 Pi Dragon Slayer, Barcode.
We have our new champion.
I like this guy.
Yugioh Master Duel Invitational. It's Barcode. Barcode, lift your trophy, sir, because this is yours. Give it up for your champion. Okay. Now we're going to have a quick word because...
Oh, shit.
Champion, how do you feel?
Well, he was amazing. He was amazing.
I can barely hear them.
But in the end, I got a trophy, so that's the most important thing, right?
Absolutely, and you must feel great. That's a great trophy. Is that going to be pride place in your home?
Of course. It's gonna be right behind me every time I stream, of course.
So that's what we like to hear. So with that, our 3rd anniversary invitational for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel has come to an end, and we have crowned a new champion, taking it away from Rev's Cards after 2 wins. It's about time someone else got a chance. Congratulations, Barcode. I hope you're very, very pleased, and I hope we get to see more of this trophy in the future. But, guys, that is going to be it for our coverage here at our anniversary invitational. But tomorrow we have even more coverage because we have the finals of the Challenger Cup happening right here. So make sure you guys tune in. So that's going to be very, very exciting. And